Yeah, and I think that really over time, that what you saying non-traditional is going to become the tradition. I think that more and more companies are following suit. They're going to have this remote mentality and mindset. Just one, I think, given an opportunity, given if you're trying to hire somebody and you have someone that has the talent that you're looking for, and they have the option, I can go work here remote, or I have to go choice B and be in the office every day. I think it's an advantage to you offering the remote solution so that yeah, that's what people are looking for. They have a taste of it. I think that that's what they want. So it's a strength for you.
Yeah, I think setting up a remote culture, we've tried to automate everything and try to build that. I think that's still kind of being developed out. And I think there's a ton of room for technologies to make these experiences better because even for us, we've tried to automate everything from like how we document, how we communicate, how we do everything. It's all on the computer now. We don't have you anybody meeting in person, but how do you have brainstorming meetings? How do you still, enable communication? How do you still enable work? And I think that mindset of people working remotely aren't effective. I think we've done more work in the last year because of being remote. The people have been a lot more focused and it's still a difficulty with individuals that have families that couldn't go to school or had to homeschool at the same time. But, you know, any type of software company is not really affected by us having to sit behind a desk and all next to each other. You do miss the serendipitous kind of moments of innovation and talking, but I think you still try to drive that with Slack or other tools to keep an open channel to communicate as much as possible.
So what I'm hearing from you is that maybe these communities across the country and even the world that have these startup communities that have really been driven by, founders in those specific cities are maybe going to the wayside, if you will, that they're not going to be as important as maybe they have been over the last decade or so. Is that what I'm hearing you saying? Because people can be anywhere? Or do you think there is still going to be these silos of areas that are more prominent than others?
I think it's going to be more diversified because I think this was a great awakening that you can have remote and you can still be effective.
Yeah.
Not every industry is probably going to feel this, but it's software development. It's 100. If you would have said a year ago that we could operate 100% remote, everyone, I would have been like, oh, good Lord, this is going to be,
Yeah. Is that because you have expenses tied to a building a lot of times? I mean, it seems like that is a big piece to it, right? So like you got, a 40-story building, you own the building and no one's in it. It seems like a waste of money. Or, oh, now I have to pay my team internet as part of their internet or whatever. Like, is that the reason why you think a lot of these areas are not, or what?
No, I think it's just, like from a culture standpoint, it's now become, the video communication is so widely adopted and now mainstream, and companies have all worked months and months with the remote, like in Salesforce, Facebook, Apple, Google, Amazon are in the same boat. They're having to hire people, expand and grow, and to be competitive, they're saying, okay, well, there's no requirement for you to move, because it's really unfair to an individual to be like, okay, we're going to hire you. You live in Florida, in a year and a half, we're going to have to pick up and move, when you're effectively doing work and not having any issues and outputting. So,
well, I wonder how much, an area like here, 44 minutes a day. Actually, no, I think the average commute for people is 44 minutes a day. I think here is 22 minutes, something like that, right? And so you got to think that the people who don't have to now travel, how much more positive they are from not hitting a traffic perspective. Tim, I know you talked about traffic at some point in the last few weeks and how people at the HRBT aren't hitting that or anything like that. I mean, I wonder just from a positivity standpoint, how that's helping teams be more productive.
Well, I think you have some individuals that thrive in those environments and other ones that that don't, like we have
some people thrive in road rage. Let's get it on.
just having like we have a lot of, younger individuals that may not be married, and there's that social aspect that you completely remove from people not have any social contact or being around those, people that they work with or that. So I think it can be very isolating. And I think there's post-COVID, I think there has to be some type of balance between working from home and having the ability to meet up or work with actual physical individuals.
Oh,
I would say that to answer your question, Zach, there's going to be a hybrid. I think that people are going to work remote. And then with the money saved, with not having to have an office to to write that check every single month, then there's going to be maybe bi-monthly or quarterly all hands that they can rotate and bring the entire staff to those buildings or to those offsite locations to have the best of both worlds. And if I was king for a day in Hampton Roads, that would be one of the things that I would be marketing to different businesses, saying, hey, come to Hampton Roads, have your offsite here, and attract them for those types of purposes. I mean, we already know that tourism.
So the tourism aspect of business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting idea. I think companies, they know they can operate remotely. There's no excuse now for.
Yeah, it's 13 months now. If they haven't been able to figure it out, that's on them, right?
They'll never be out of business. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they can operate with this way. So there's no excuse. And you think of how competitive companies have to be. And especially when you look at the things that we're competing against with Facebook, they're always thinking of perks, it being either free lunch or having, offices that are just super, high end, and crazy amenities. But I think there's going to be some individuals that will this is how they want to operate moving forward. And then the other ones will be like, this is fine a couple of days a week. But I don't want to miss that social world.
I've been directly involved within our entrepreneurial community for years. And the most common question I get is, Tim, I want to get involved, but I don't know what events I should attend. Well, Startwheel eliminates that pain point because we consolidate all the events you should attend into a single calendar. Now you'll be in the know and see where to spend your time. Gone is the need to search multiple websites and calendars. Just head to startwheel.org and see for yourself. That's startwheel.org.